Hey review family, keep it tight. My name is Jay Morse, the review guy, reviewing music for the love of music, and I'm back again to bring you another video. And in this one I'm going to be covering the new Feastem record entitled Graveyard Earth. These guys are a Finnish grindcore and death metal band that have been pretty prolific in their output up until recently. For a while, pretty much every year, they were dropping either a full-length or an EP or a split. There was a 3-year gap between their 2013 album and the split that they did in 2016 with Teething, which was their last record that has released. This is their newest full-length record 4 years later. And on the surface, it is probably one of the best grindcore records that I've heard this year thus far. It's just extremely misanthropic, it's extremely hectic, it is so chaotic. The lyricism is gruesome, the lyricism is edgy, the lyricism is abnormally dark, and the record all in all amounts to 15 tracks, 19 minutes, which is somewhat a little bit longer than a lot of grindcore releases, funnily enough. Now, grindcore and all of the genres that are associated with the grind name, in my opinion, have a very unique issue, and that is memorability. When you have these tracks that are meant to be very exhilarating, very adrenaline-inducing, from start to finish, a very quick burst of an album. These tracks usually don't amount to 1-2 minutes or less in many cases. Can it be memorable? Can you do repeated listens? Does it stick in your mind, or does it just wash out? Does it just feel like chewed gum that you chew up, it has a lot of flavor, and then you spit it out and forget about it? That analogy that I just used is what happens to me a lot of times with grindcore records as I'm processing them, listening to them over and over, deciding if I want to do a formal review, deciding if I enjoy the record or feel like I have something to say, because there are a lot of albums that I enjoy that I just don't cover because I don't feel like I have much to add to the conversation of. But I will say Feastem does a fairly good job of making sure that these records stay rip-roaring, that they keep you on the edge of your seat. Much like, say, a Nails record, much like a Napalm Death record. While I'm on the subject of Napalm Death, is a very strong influence, I can tell, in the way the vocals are played out. They sound quite a bit like Barney Greenway. Very shrieked, very throaty, very high octane, very in your face, very enraged if not deranged, and even some of the way the drums and guitars rip out remind me a lot of Napalm Death's more death metal and grindcore hybrid-centric sounds, which makes a lot of sense, because Feastem does feel like they're blurring the lines a lot of times between death metal and grindcore. Not every track here just feels like a full to the brim 100% grindcore track, which this makes this record so interesting to listen to for repeated times, because you're going to get these little details that you didn't notice as you're listening through. Little bits and pieces of instrumentation, little progressions within progressions, and I like that because they pack these tracks full of a lot. They don't just feel like plastic, they don't feel like cardboard. This band doesn't lose the plot, they don't lose the narrative when it comes to why this style is so offensive, why this style is so in your face. The band never loses the plot, never loses the narrative of being the embodiment of rage. Knowing that this genre is meant to be idiosyncratic, that it's meant to be outsider culture, that it's meant to be completely and utterly offensive in many ways. It's not accessible, it's not easy to listen to, quite the contrary. And all in all, if you want a grindcore record that is very, very straight to the point, very quick, but actually not that quick in the grand scheme of things of grindcore records, and that in my opinion does have repeated listening value, I highly suggest this record. I think they pack enough in these tracks to keep it memorable, to keep the record flowing cohesively and in a fluid manner. And from start to finish of the record, I don't think that these tracks necessarily blend together that bad or just become a wall of impenetrable noise. It's noisy, but noisy for good sake. And it's just a jolly good grindcore time. I'm going to be giving this album a 7 out of 10. And that is a wrap. Have you heard this new Feastem record, Graveyard Earth? If you have, let me know in the comment section below what you thought about it. I would love to discuss the record with you. Be sure to like this video if you enjoyed it, subscribe to join the review family today, and smash that notification bell to be notified of my future uploads. You know who it is. My name is Jay Morse, the Review Guy, and I'm signing off saying farewell.